Hello there. What's going on, everybody? We're going to talk about Lando Calrissian today. We got ourselves a preview of this expansion, and we got our flaw cards, our command cards. We're going to talk all about it. If you guys are new here, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment. That'll enter you to win that $25 Amazon gift card giveaway. All right, so we got three different sculpts that they're showing us here. It's really just one sculpt. So you got some different hand options and different cape options for Lando. I don't like the posing. I'm going to be just honest with you. It's the arms are all bent in kind of strange ways, especially the one on the far left there. He's supposed to be reaching for his blaster. I get that. Just looks awkward. It looks very awkward to me. And then the middle pose where he's got the blaster drawn, his other hand is just like, what is he doing with it, right? Like, I'm going to probably try and put a Colt 45 or something in there as a joke. But, I mean, Lando's one of my favorite characters from Star Wars, and he shouldn't be a joke, you know. So, I'm not a fan of kind of the way that they did him here. You do have a lot of cape options, though. That's kind of cool. But this is like one of those characters that they really need to do like an alternate sculpt version. If you look at the way Atomic Mass Games does their Marvel Crisis Protocol poses, all the Marvel characters have these beautiful flourishes and like they're all very dynamic in action poses and stuff, and all they would have needed to do here is maybe have the cape kind of flowing behind him a little bit more, like he's spinning. But I don't know. I just not a big fan of the way that they kind of did this. Now the sculpt itself looks good, like the face looks good. All of the sculpting department did a good job. It's just the pose, the choices for the way that he was going to stand just end up not looking pretty good for me. So that's but the character himself is one of my favorite characters. The expansion itself, I love what comes here. So we're going to talk about the Lando's unit card. He's going to come with 6 upgrade cards. They're going to be the same upgrades you're going to get with Callus. A lot of stuff that wasn't available to the Rebels already. So this is going to be good. And again, the Legion team is sticking with their kind of promise that you will not have to buy across the aisle. If you're just a Rebel player, and maybe some of this stuff came out with the clones or whatever, now this is your chance to get it. Although we're still kind of awaiting a couple more Jedi and what Kanan and Ezra and Inquisitors and stuff like that, because they're still missing a few Force upgrades for the Rebels in the Empire. But for the most part, they've been doing a good job with making sure that all those upgrades are available, because not everything in this pack is going to be really good on Lando. But it's just a good opportunity for them to be like, oh, by the way, here are these cards. So Lando has a 105 point cost. It's a little more expensive than Callus's base cost, but he has a good enough ranged weapon built into him that you don't have to also put a weapon on him. Of course, you can't. And so I think that's kind of where they came up with that kind of midpoint. He's more expensive than bare bones Callus, but cheaper than Callus upgraded with a weapon, and so I feel like it's a good middle ground. He can take command, training, and gear. He's got weaker melee, and he's got a really good ranged weapon for a built-in character. It's range 1 to 3, and has Pierce 1, and it's a red and a black die, which is a pretty good damage for a Pierce 1 weapon that has Surge to Crit and Sharpshooter 2, because Lando has Sharpshooter 2, which means those 2 dice are going to go through more often than not. You're almost always going to get damage through on whoever you're shooting at, which is especially nice. He also has Surge for defense, but only the white defense tie. Uncanny Luck will help him try to avoid as much damage as possible. He has a pretty good chance of actually blocking some damage when he's attacked. So if you keep him in heavy cover and are able to get a dodge token on him once in a while, people are gonna have a fairly hard time bringing him down. Speed 2 makes him. He's very similar to Han Solo. The unit card. He's got, granted, the biggest difference is the fact that he's got lower range. Han is only range 1 to 2, but a lot of the rest of his card is going to be very familiar and reminiscent of Han Solo. The big thing here, I mean, he's got covert ops, so he can jump in as an operative if you want. I think covert ops is like maybe one of the least. I don't think I'd really want to run covert ops. Like, I just can't see myself wanting to run Lando as an operative. Like, I don't see really any reason to do that. I don't know. That's just me. And of course, he's flawed. We're going to take a look at the flaw card. But the big thing that makes Lando stand out and makes him unique here is Contingencies 3. You're going to be able to bring 3 additional command cards, can kind of set them off to the side, and you'll be able to kind of swap those in when you're playing command cards. And that's a big deal, especially for the rebels that have maybe some builds where they want to bring in lots of different characters, and you have a choice of like, I don't know if I'm going to need this character, I don't know if I'm going to need to drop mines with Sabine, I don't know if I'm going to need all of Luke's command cards plus something else. So that stuff is really helpful, and I think that's really the big thing that makes Lando stand out and be unique. Granted, he's a decent all-around person, and if you're looking for a kind of a cheap commander that can get some piercing damage done at long range, I kind of like that. But he's not a sniper, but he's got decent command cards. So Idiot's Array, this one's really funny. I love the artwork here. He's kind of got that cape flowing, and he's like, "Stay behind me, Shriv. Don't worry, I'll protect you. Just stay behind the cape. Watch my back. We're gonna be shooting here in the same direction as the stormtroopers are shooting." Let me know what you think. Why is he shooting in the same direction that the stormtroopers are shooting? That's a funny one. I'll probably ask this in my Discord. My guess is that he doesn't know. So is he, it's really funny. Again, by the way, if you haven't seen my other video for the AA5 speeder truck, Shriv is confirmed as being in there. So all you miniature sculptors out there, try and get a mini Shriv to kind of sit in that thing, because, well, it looks like there's a card for Shriv to go in and be a field commander. You also probably, it looks like you're not getting a Shriv miniature in there. So there you go. It's a great opportunity for the homebrew folks to get their own Shrivs and put them in there. But this is his 1 pip. It does 2 different things. It gives him Gunslinger and Marksman. That's actually really nice, because Gunslinger with range 3, Sharpshooter 2, Pierce 1 weapon. Yes, please. Granny only gets us the 1 turn. But this is, you want to get him in the right spot, and then pop this one. You can boom, boom, pierce, got you. I like that one a lot. It's good for like mid-game, mid or late game. It's really nice to be able to do this. And then Marksman, I don't think he needs Marksman as much. With the red and black die and Surge to Crit, is not like he's going to really need to upgrade results that much. And then the second half of this is going to give him aim and dodge tokens, depending on how many cards you have in your discard pile. So he might get a couple of free aims, and so that can all work together. But, I mean, how many aims do you need when you're rolling red and black dice with Surge to Crit and Sharpshooter 2? Maybe unless you're shooting against people like Jedi who have dodge and you don't want them to deflect on you, or vehicles, so like it has its uses. I'm not saying it's bad, but yeah, it's not like as necessary. So like Marksman is all right. It's not like the best ever. Like, it'd be kind of cool if you had you could upgrade your range to range 4 with an aim token, or like if it was something else like that would be really, really cool here, but that's okay. So the second half of this is if you got a 3 pip, you're going to gain in your discard pile. You're going to gain an aim and a dodge, or 2 aim and 2 dodge if there's a 3 pip and a 2 pip. Or if you've got one of each, you'll gain 3 aim and 3 dodge. What's cool about this is you're gaining those tokens during during the phase where you're playing these command cards. Which, again, this would be awesome if you had teamwork. If Lando had teamwork, I really hope we get a new version of Chewie that has like teamwork with Han or Lando, or like that can be teamwork with anybody or whatever, because this card is crying out for teamwork. Right? It would be amazing. But because again, I don't think there's any situation where he needs 3 aim tokens. Now the dodges, on the other hand, awesome. So I don't think he needs all the aims and Marksman. He's probably going to roll well enough as is. Granted, there's always a chance that, you roll blank reds. I sometimes will do it, but more often than I'd like. But I don't think everybody has the same terrible dice that I sometimes have. So, but statistically, with Pierce 1, you're going to get your damage through. At least the red die, but it's nice, and I think it's especially helpful for shooting at Jedi or shooting at vehicles. Or maybe I'm missing something else. Maybe we're gonna see some new things come out that or I guess maybe even B2 battle droids with their armor 1 or something like that too. Yeah, that could be a thing. So there's use cases. So this is a pretty versatile 1 pip card. His 2-pip Ace Up his sleeve. We did see this one already during the initial card preview. It's a really versatile card too, and I really like this one. Plus, I love that art, right? Straight out of Empire Strikes Back. He's signaling Lobot too. I'm like, and we didn't get Lobot here, right? Or L3. But no, this one's beautiful. And it's Lando in 1 unit. When he issues an order to a unit, they gain a dodge or a standby token. Love standby too. And love being able to get a standby before the first activation too. So you got a fleet trooper kind of in the middle of nowhere. This is the thing too. Like maybe you drop Lando with covert ops, right? And you drop some fleet troopers off of a AA5 speeder truck. They get out early, right? Like, and then turn 2, you play this card, and they get a standby. They're right in the middle of stuff. Boom! That's kind of cool. So there's things to think about. But what's really special about this card is the second half. You can have this in your contingencies, right? And then play it, and you get benefit from this without even having to play it. Before drawing an order from your order pool, you may instead discard this card from your contingencies or your hand, wherever you happen to have it. If you do, issue an order to Lando or a friendly unit at range 1 to 2 of him, and then activate that unit. So this gives you just like, oh, I'm sorry, I played standing orders this turn to mess with you. Oh, but I'm still going to activate whoever I want. I love that. I love that. Really cool card. And it also gets another card in your discard pile, which we're going to see why that's important. I mean, part of it is for Idiot's Array. If you're trying to make sure you manufacture the Idiot's Array and you're missing that 2-pip in your discard pile, this is another way to get that in there. And then we've got All In, my favorite card. It's got Lando kind of like when he was pulling down his mask like way too low in Return of the Jedi. Do you guys remember that scene? He pulls it down. It's like he's looking to the camera and he's like, "Hey guys, it's me. It's me. Billy D works every time." You know, that's like, obviously it was just there for the benefit of the audience to know who he was in disguise. But I'm thinking to myself, what a job his henchman is going to walk by there and like Boba Fett might have seen him as like, "You, what are you doing? Aren't you that Tavanna gas mine guy?" You know, anyway. So it's a 3-pip, it's Lando and 2 units. Each enemy at range 1 to 3 and in line of sight of Lando gains 2 observation tokens. Great. Observation tokens are awesome. Love them. Before Lando rolls dice during an attack, any attack, it could be an attack against him or one that he is making, as he rolls dice either time. You may declare a block or a critical result. After your re-roll dice step, if there's at least one of the declared results, add 2 matching results. If there is not, your opponent removes up to 2 dice. All right, so there's a couple of interesting ways to think about this, but I want to throw a sidebar at you. What if you're doing a mirror match? Okay, what if I've got... We'll save the mirror match to the end because this is a fun one, and this is going to require an errata on this card. I'm almost guessing, or maybe not. But this is a fun card because basically you don't get to convert your surges to crits because they're after. I mean, you will eventually, but they're after the reroll dice step. So basically, I'm saying all in. I gotta kill you now. I gotta kill this vehicle or whatever, or Darth Vader or what have you. And I'm hoping you don't deflect. I'm gonna say I roll a crit. If I roll a crit, maybe I re-roll. You got observation tokens there. Re-roll. If I don't get a crit, I'm screwed because you're gonna be able to take away 2 of my dice when they're gone. But if I do get a crit, I get to add 2 more crit results. Double crit. So I can potentially have 4 damage going with Pierce 1, which is nice. Although if it's against the Jedi, they're probably gonna be immune to Pierce, but still 4 damage against Vader's 4 damage against Vader, right? That's great. Or anybody, it'd be especially good against regular, threatening characters that happen to not be immune to Pierce. But this is also really good against your defense, too. Because if you don't roll a block, you don't care if your opponent takes away 2 of your dice because they're probably blank white dice anyway. The problem is if they're surge that you might have converted to block, you're going to lose those surges. So it's kind of like when you absolutely positively need to throw that Hail Mary pass. Now, granted, you don't have to declare those results. Like if somebody's attacking you with just like a small attack, you're like, you know what, I don't need to do it. So you may declare the result. So you could just say, this one isn't that important. I don't need to go all in on this particular attack. But I think it's a really lucky thing that you can try and do for defense because you're going to get 2 rerolls every time. And you can potentially get 4 dice on your attack, which is really cool. So I like that. But here's the thing. What if it's a mirror match? It doesn't say before a friendly Lando Calrissian, right? Now, I'm pretty sure like the rules like no, because it's your command card. It only works on your Lando Calrissian. But it doesn't say a friendly Lando Calrissian, right? So what if your opponent is both? Well, you and your opponent are both running Lando Calrissian, and then like could you say before Lando Calrissian rolls dice? Well, your Lando Calrissian is about to roll defense dice, and I'm gonna say I don't think that's gonna work. That'd be funny, but no, I'm pretty sure it's just you're playing the card. It's your Lando Calrissian, the one that played this card. So that's funny. And I've altered the deal. First off, I want to say amazing artwork on this card. Maybe one of the best pieces of art we've seen in Star Wars Legion so far. The way the lighting is hitting Lando's face from underneath, spectacular. And the look of disgust he shows to Darth Vader in this scene. It really captures that moment. Like, absolutely love this piece of art. Big shout out to, I don't know who the artist is on this particular card. It'll probably be on the final version, but really, really incredible. If you know who it is, actually let me know in the comment section. I love, because these games they commission such fantastic art, but and it's all good. All of this has been great, but this particular piece really strikes me as magnificent. Yeah, so we get his flaw card. It's not that bad, but it's interesting. You may play this card at the start of the command phase if there are at least 3 cards in the discard pile of an opponent who controls Lando Calrissian. See, like here they say of an opponent who controls Lando Calrissian, right? So like here they're kind of specifying, but on the other one they don't specify. That's what makes me kind of think of, like, what if it's a mirror match? But that opponent cannot use their contingencies or Lando Calrissian's command cards. So basically you can lock your opponent out of using Lando's fancy stuff. I believe it's just for the turn. It's not like they're locked out for the rest of the game. I believe it's just for the turn. But the thing is, this is if you tried to like play that 2-pip from your thing and kind of force cards. If you play his 2-pip early, but don't play it, but like discard it from your contingencies early to try to manufacture the all in. Too soon, then your opponent might play this kind of early, and now all of a sudden you get that beautiful scenario where you were going to play that 1-pip and have Gunslinger and take down 2 units, and now maybe you can't because your opponent plays this card, and now the cards you need are locked in your contingencies, and now you can't get them. That's always a chance. But you can also, if you're bringing Lando, maybe you don't bring, maybe you bluff. Like, I love the idea. I feel like this card brings a lot of, this whole expansion brings a lot of bluffing, because like I'd be really tempted to just bring contingencies and not even use them. Like bring none of Lando's command cards. All right, like have like Lando and Jedi Luke and have all Lando stuff in the contingencies. Like, I don't care. I'm not going to play him. I'm running all Luke. Somebody plays this and they're like, oh, you can't do it. I'm like, oh, that's fine. I'm just going to keep running Luke stuff. That'd be funny. Or as an even worse kind of bluff, first turn, play standing orders. All right. Now you have no cards in your discard phase because standing orders doesn't go in your discard pile. Maybe second turn. A lot of times, even in competitive games, a lot of times, depending on where you set your units and where you maneuver and hide behind terrain or whatever, you can get away with playing standing orders the first 2 turns. If you play standing orders the first 3 turns, your opponent may never be able to use this card throughout the whole game. Because then what are they going to do at the beginning of the 7th turn? I mean, unless they come up with like a Grand Admiral Thrawn that's like, now the game goes 7 turns. He's changing the game. What has he done? He's over 9,000. But granted, running standing orders first 3 turns in a row is something only a madman would do. And I totally would do it because I'm a madman. But yeah, like there's ways to get around this, and I think a lot of times it's not gonna. I don't think it's locking you out of Lando and his command cards for the rest of the game. I think it's just the 1 turn. That's usually the way the flaw cards seem to work. It's like this turn they have this effect. So it's not that big a deal. But in more competitive games, where timing is everything, and you have Lando at the perfect points and pop that 1-pip or what have you, it's gonna hurt you. If if you've done that, and that seems to be in the spirit of the way the Flaw cards work. They give you that one linchpin plan kind of crushed because you were a little too aggressive and your opponent kind of locked you out of this. It also gives your opponent a little bit more, hey, since he can't run Lando, that means maybe he's going to play a Luke card, so now I have a good idea of what card he's going to play. And so it gives you that predictability too. So it's a little more meta. It kind of brings a lot more card play and gambling and bluffing maybe to the game of Legion. So I think this is going to be a really fun expansion. I like the Lando card. I like the Lando unit. He kind of gets over the one critical vulnerability that Han had in that he was restricted to range 2. And so Lando has that range 3 ability, which is much nicer. So if you're looking for a cheap commander, I think Lando's decent. He's a decent shooting commander. He's not really a great support commander, but some of his command cards are pretty decent. And so maybe consider, I think he would work well with Luke also. I think, maybe one of the things you do is you consider running his contingencies. Like maybe only bring 3 or 2, run them early, and then you don't have to worry about, Vader doing too much, or Vader doing, or that Flaw card. But I think there's a lot of different ways that you can consider running Lando. I really do hope though that this is not the only kind of look at Lando we get. I hope we get some other cards that give better interoperability between him and Han and Chewie, or Leia, and kind of get more teamwork abilities going between our Rebel heroes. I was hoping this expansion would have done that. It did not, at least not yet. Maybe in the future someday. All right, you guys, that's all I've got for today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Let's hop in Discord and continue the conversation over there. There's links in the description below for Discord. Also for my website where we have the free Legion AI expansion and the Ultimate Palpatine encounter. You can check those out. Those are available there for free. So check out Crabbok.com. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are amazing. And I couldn't do this without your continued support. So thank you for continuing to support the channel. I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much. And as always, have a great day.